Josh here with the Mercedes Swap Shop, and we got a two-parter for the Crossfires and the SLKs. The first part, we're gonna go over the screen removal, ECU removal, all the stuff that I would need if you get the dreaded 2 cranks, starts, stalls, and the third try nothing. Sometimes it's 3 cranks and then the 4th time it's nothing. A lot of the videos explain like the hard way to remove the screen, so we're going to go over it. I'm going to show you step by step the easy way to do it and how to position it in case you hook up the battery wrong in the future and it fries the screen or something. I do lifetime warranties, so I'll replace it. I'll show you how to put it so that you can get to it easier the next time if that were to happen. Fingers crossed it doesn't. So far, over 2.5 years, I haven't had any comeback that I've replaced. What happens is key related. So the second part of this little video series, little mini series, is going to be preventative for the future. So that you never have to worry about it ever again, or if you've never had it done, you won't have to worry about it in the future. And we'll go over all that. So for the first one, this is going to be screen removal. Okay, so this is going to be easy. You only need an 8mm, whatever your battery is connected with. If it's OEM, it's going to be 10mm. My terminals have been swapped countless times because of different batteries I've put in. Phillips, I just have 2 of the bits to go to this just in case, and then a plastic pry tool. So let's disconnect the battery. Put it on the cowl. Alright, so I'll disconnect it, put it off to the side here. This is where the ECU is. One of the problems that people run into if you're getting no crank at all is the RCM. The RCM is actually right here with these fuses in it. And DJ Ty can actually refurbish it, rebuild it. I don't know if he offers a warranty, but he's definitely the best person for fixing the K40. That will fail no matter what, period. R170, Crossfire, it's just a matter of time. So I highly recommend getting it fixed from him before it fails, because it'll save you money in the future. The ECU is right here, right next to it, and we're going to go over how to properly unplug it so that you can pull it out. Most of them will have a little black trim piece around it. I don't use mine, and I'd prefer you don't send it with it. It just makes the packaging a little tighter, sharp corners, tries to cut through. So plug 5, or this is 1, plug 1, just a little thing right there, pull it out. 2, you're going to push down right there, flip the latch open. Now it's out. 3, same thing. 4, same thing. And then 5, little tab on the back, wiggle it and pull it. Now when you have the black thing, you're going to need to pull these backwards to pull the ECU out. And so you get the ECU out, and this is going to go to the side. I'm going to show the installation of it right now because I don't need to take my ECU out for what I'm doing. So plug 5, straightforward, just push it in. You know, pretty solid. Now all of these latch connectors, this is the biggest issue when I send them back. They're like, oh, the car doesn't crank at all, and what's going on? It's because you don't put these in correctly. So latch 90 degrees. Push like this, push the plug down. Okay, you push it as far down as it'll go. The latch automatically comes up. Finish the rest of the way. So 90 degree, push the plug push the plug, kind of wiggle it. There you go. Finish the latch. Number 2, 90 degree. Push it down, finish the latch. You know, make sure that they're plugged in all the way. And then number 1, straight down. And there you go. That's the removal and installation of the ECU. Alright. We'll close that up. And then we'll come back over here, grab our stuff for the interior. So, straight off the bat, the biggest issue when people are doing this, or at least the videos that I've seen for people to do this, is they remove like the entire lower dash. You don't need to do that. We'll take this, we're gonna open this part, pop this out. There's that fuse panel. There is an 8mm right here, so you gotta go in, take the 8mm out. There's a screw down here, about right where my finger is. That needs to come out. And then we'll pop this vent out. Just kind of work your way around, and then it just comes straight out. We'll throw on the Phillips so that we can do this one right here. I'm propping up the knee bolster with my knee to get rid of the tension on these screws. All right, now right on the bottom, you got one screw in the middle, and then this trim piece pops right out, kind of like in a downward angle, and then that will expose these 2 screws. And you can move your wheel if you want, like if you put your key in even with the battery off to get rid of the steering lock, you know, turn it to the on position, and then you know, you can get to some of this a little easier sometimes if you're struggling to get to it. All right, now this is gonna come down like this, okay? You don't need to take the screws in the back on the bottom out, because just sagging like this is plenty of space. So we'll get this screw right here. Now the ignition ring, okay, this just pops right off. Be careful with the ignition ring, because this is what reads the chip inside the key. Stay tuned for part 2 if you want to learn how we're gonna get rid of all these future issues. Mostly has to do with that ring. Now the bottom of this clustered trim piece is that one screw right here, and then a couple of pops to get this like this. Okay, so you get it all out on the bottom first. Then this is the scary part for most people. Right here, you're gonna scuff this up, and you're gonna realize that from the factory there's this weird kind of like acrylic paint that they put over it to protect it. But I scraped mine off a long time ago because it was peeling, and I'd never done this before. And when I peeled it off, it looks way better. It's like a glossy black finish. So I highly recommend just taking it off. I mean, don't even bother with it. And now for this part, you have tabs going all the way around, but the tabs are very bulky and they're like this. So you gotta push them down to clear this down and out to get it out. So got that one. Those 2, and I broke that one. It's all right. Okay, you get that piece out. Go back to the Phillips. You got two going straight up. These are all gold, so you won't have to worry about messing these ones up. Sometimes they want to come out, sometimes they don't. There's a little rubber like stopper right there. So just get them loose, and then there's one on each side right here. Alright, now gotta kind of like push up while you're getting this down. Oh, don't pull on that. Alright, the little white piece is kind of stuck right there, so we're gonna just pry it out. Now the cluster has two plugs on the back, and they're very similar to those latch plugs I was showing you on the ECU. I'm gonna take these screws out now. I don't want to lose them. Okay, kind of fold it however you can. There's a button. You gotta push down on the button, and then you gotta fold the latch over, and the plug kind of just slides out. Get this in a different spot so we can get over to this one. Push the button, fold the latch down, which pops the plug most of the way out. There we go. Alright, now I gotta take my cluster out because I'm replacing it with a 200 mile an hour from an SRT. Okay, just kind of wiggle around until you get there. Now we are into the crevice, and there's the scream right there. Now we got to be a little careful with this part because you don't want to break any of these wires. They're very critical to the function of the scream. So you take two fingers, pry those outward, slide it down. Now you have the scream. Same thing, another one of those latch plugs. So you're going to push the button, latch, pull it out. Now the antenna and the can lines, you're going to see, have a little thing right there poking up. So we're going to take the smaller Phillips bit, see if we can poke it. If we can't easily pull it out, then we need to do this a different way. So we're going to try pushing right here. Yep, that worked. Pulled out the antenna. Don't pull by the wires. So I have one finger on the back. I'm pushing with the other hand and pulling from the plug. Boom, came right out. Easy peasy. I see a lot of people break those connectors, and then they're like, why doesn't my car start? That's why. Cool. So I'm not doing a scream repair. I'm doing something else, and that will be in part 2. Installation is very straightforward. It's the exact same thing, just backwards. And when you're putting the scream back in, fold all this down. You have tons of length with these, especially like right here. If you cut the little zip tie, you got plenty of room to drag this out a little bit, so you can actually put the scream over here, and then next time you have to replace it, or next time you have to get to it, you can actually go in from the side right here and just put your hand all the way in, get to the scream like this. You know, you can take your time to unplug the latch and stuff, and then you can, it'll, you know, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be, you don't have to tear all this other stuff apart, and you just work on getting it out that way. So definitely install it not clipped into the original spot. You know, just try to fit it as far over this direction as you can. Maybe even cut the tabs off or something. Like I said, no, you're never going to have a problem as long as you take care of your battery. Make sure that you don't hook it up backwards or anything. It's very rare that screams fail in the first place. It's usually because of key related nonsense, which hopefully you'll stay tuned for part 2 so that you can see what I've come up with for dealing with that long term. Oh, here was that other screw that you have to take out when you take the vent out. Oh, that's what holds this right there. Okay, yeah, I did forget about that. All right, so I gotta go do some work to my scream, and then I will be back for the installation.